Evangelical Covenant Church. Oh, roll call before we go ahead. ISO rule of orders. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Desume,
Here.
Councilwoman Estimé Irvin,
Present.
Mayor Bieneme, Councilwoman Timothy,
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Good evening. Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you praise and thanks for your goodness and for your mercy. By the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted. As a representative of your church, I bless this city. We pray tonight that you would bless this meeting, continue to bless the residents and the citizens of this great city. Bless the mayor, vice mayor, all the councilmen and women, and continue to lead and guide this city in the pathway of peace. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Attorney, do we have, Madam Manager, any addition, deletion, amendment to the agenda?
We have additions. Tabs H and I continued from the November 18th special council meeting, and tabs J and K tabled from the November 18th special council meeting, and tab B to be reflected as sponsored by Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy.
Would that be all?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Mr. Attorney, are we all set for the agenda?
Yes, Vice Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you so much. Guys, I guess let's go down for special presentation. We have several presentations, and the first one is by our outgoing Mayor, Philip Bieneme, but let's go down there. I'll do it for him on his behalf. We got several. Good evening, everyone. As we wait for I don't know if the mayor will arrive or if he's running late, but I will certainly do this great honor and a privilege and a pleasure to give this proclamation to one of my constituents and a friend on his behalf, to Miss Janine Jolicoeur. And the presentation read as Janine Jolicoeur was born in Gonaïves, Haiti on July 11th, 1957. And her story of community activism started September 22nd, 1979, when she was migrated here to the U.S. in whereas Janine was advocated for the South Florida community for the past 43 years by giving a voice to the Haitian community and her community advocacy on numerous campaigns and affiliation with one of our greatest community organization, VAO, and whereas Janine has been part of a campaign for Congresswoman Wilson, Michelle Spence-Jones, City of Miami, State Representative Ronald Brise, Councilman Jean-Rodrigue Massolis, City of North Miami, Vice Mayor Alex Desulme, City of North Miami, State Representative Daphne Campbell, Miami-Dade County Commission, Keon Hardeman, State Senator Jason Pizzo, North Miami Beach Commissioner Michael Joseph Esquire, City of North Miami Beach Commissioner, it's a lot of things, Mackenzie Florimond, City of North Miami Beach Commissioner Polly Villard, and City of North Miami Mayor Philippe Bieneme, Miami Commissioner, Miami-Dade County Commissioner Keon Hardeman, and City of North Miami Cassandra Timothy, and City of Miami Commissioner Christine King. And whereas Janine has worked for the City of North Miami and currently works for Miami-Dade County Commissioner Keon Hardeman, where she does community outreach for his district. And whereas she used her voice to advocate for the community, ensuring their issues are priority, that political representations are met for residents, and make sure that they are do what they need to do. Now, therefore, in consideration of foregoing, I, Mayor Philip Bien-Aimé of the City of North Miami, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of North Miami, do proclaim November 21st, 2022 to be Janine Jolicoeur Day in the City of North Miami, and I urge all residents in joining and celebrating, congratulating Janine Jolicoeur, known as Yannick. I put that in there. A witness as I hand and cause in the city, Philippe Bien-Aimé. Janine, please come forward. She's going to say a few words and I'll translate. Ou te m'a dit en créole, mais m'a translate en anglais.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, pas anglais. I won't translate that.
I'm sorry, I want to speak Creole.
Ou te m'a parler, ou te m'a parler. Mais si ba créole, mais n'a dit moi.
M'di thank you. M'di merci, bon Dieu. Merci pour tout ça le fait pour moi. Et pour ça, la continuer faire pour moi. Moi, j'aime mon empile. Moi, j'aime travail. Moi, j'aime aider.
Okay.
M'abdi.
Okay. Oh.
M'abdi.
I want to thank God.
M'abdi, thank you. À Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé. M'abdi, thank you. Avec vice-mayor. Thank you, Councilwoman Cassandra. Thank you, Councilwoman Marie-Stine. Thank you, Scott Gavin. Thank you. Thank you. M'abdi nou.
No, mais for to camper, I want to thank God and thank him for everything that he has done in my life. I love work and I love people and I love what I do. I want to thank Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé, and I want to thank all of the council members which he named out loud. That's just a summary.
Jodi a me senti content. Me pas content. Me senti en dedans m'a déchiré. So m'entré Miami.
Today I am happy, but I am also not too happy today.
Parce que depuis que je suis entré dans le pays, je me fait respect. Je ne pas voulu involver avec l'État. Ça, l'État m'a demandé pour faire, c'est lui pour faire.
Since I came to Miami, I respect myself and I respect the law because I never wanted to be involved with law enforcement. Whatever law enforcement asks you to do, that's what you do.
Parce que la communauté a fait des gens juste les mourir. Ça, c'est dans le VEO, je bataille, il te montré comment pour me bataille. Journée jeudi, si je recevoir tout bagay ça, qui moun mwen taillé pour me recevoir.
Since I came here, one of my mentors, Father Gérard Jean-Just from VEO, has taught me a lot, and who would I be without naming him, because of him and all of the work that he has done coming in the community.
Moi dis merci, moi dis thank you, merci bon Dieu, paske bon Dieu fait un pile bagay dans la vie moi. Parce que m'vin boy sit là, m'respecte tout le monde, m'pa besoin kon ki moun ou ye, m'bo respect. Mais ça avec l'honneur, respect pour messieurs dames sa yo, chapeau bas pour nous, adoration à toutes ces pour nous, avec Mayor Philippe bien-aimé.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone, especially members of the council, but definitely Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé for what he has done, etc.
M'a dit merci tout, m'étais malade en pile. M'a dit merci avec Charlie Charles. Tout le monde qui était là, yo, tout vino, France, tout le monde net.
I wanna say, I was ill, and I want to thank a lot of people in this community, but especially Charles Nassif, and a lot of people came to see me while I was ill. I cannot name everyone in the community. Oh, definitely. I have to mention my colleague from work, our former employee, Rosny Augustine.
Moi bagan yem ka di encore me di nou merci en pile. Chef police not my tout chief, tout police yo me di yo merci.
Oh, I can't say much more, but thank you so much, especially our police chief and all of the police in the city of North Miami for doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Madam Manager.
We have no,
I thought there was a presentation.
Mayor,
Go
we
ahead,
do
Madam
have a-
Manager, yes.
we do have an additional change to the agenda. We'll be moving the quarterly finance report and quarterly budget report to the December 13th meeting.
Okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, are we ready? Any city announcement?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Tracy Pollock, and I am presenting the announcements on behalf of the City of North Miami. The following are the upcoming city events and other notices. Start Thanksgiving Day with the City of North Miami as it hosts the 47th Annual Winter National Thanksgiving Day Parade on Thursday, November 24th at 10 a.m. Enjoy bands, entertainers, community groups, and parade floats along Northeast 125th Street. And see Hall of Fame Alonzo Mourning as the Grand Marshal RSVP at Winter National Thanksgiving Day Parade at eventbrite.com. In honor of Thanksgiving Day, the City of North Miami is closed Thursday, November 24th and Friday, November 25th. The city will reopen 8 a.m. on Monday, November 28th. Stop by North Miami Public Library to discover something new, explore the inside of the municipal library, and learn about its many programs and special events, including its annual book sale, December 2nd through the 4th, the start of the December Kumpa classes on Thursday at 6:30 p.m., beginning December 8th, and an author's visit from Eric Litwin and Pete the Cat on Wednesday, December 14th at 6 p.m. Call the library at 305-891-5535 or visit the city's website for more information about these and other events. Join Vice Mayor Alex Dusume at Nomi Fam Festival on Saturday, December 3rd at Claude Pepper Park from 4 to 11 p.m. A portion of the proceeds for ticket sales for the cultural festival will benefit the North Miami Utility Emergency Fund. For ticket information, visit nomifam.com. Things are happening at MoCA. Jazz at MoCA is this Friday, November 25th, at MoCA Plaza from 7 to 10 p.m. Then Miami Art Week reception is Thursday, December 1st from 6 to 10. And the MoCA Tours is Saturday, December 3rd at 11 a.m. MoCA Mini Makers is Saturday, December 3rd from 2 to 4. Sunday Stories is Sunday, December 4th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And the MoCA Makers print making is Saturday, December 9th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. For a listing of all MoCA upcoming events, visit mocanomi.org. Finally, the city will hold its annual tree lighting ceremony on Wednesday, December 7th. For more information, visit the city's website. To stay up to date with NOMI news and events, log on to North Miami's website at northmiamifl.gov. Click Connect with NOMI on the homepage to sign up for the city's newsletters. You may also follow the city on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at NOMI News. This ends the city announcements. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for the announcement. Any appointments, Madam Clerk?
No appointments, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Now the consent agenda.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
May I read it? Unless a
Yeah.
member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through C constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussions. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tab A through C be adopted. I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Desume. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Okay, the next item, John.
Tab D.
Mm-hmm.
Tab D, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to select and retain consultants for the provision of P3 community outreach services, waiving the competitive bidding in accordance with section 7-120, parentheses B, of the North Miami Code of Ordinances. Further, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute agreements between the city of North Miami and the selected consultants in the amount not to exceed $250,000, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab D.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. John Lorfields, Economic Development Director with Community Planning and Development. Through the manager, this item is in reference to Mayor and Council's request for staff to develop a community outreach plan for the downtown P3 project. So as read, the item is requesting your approval to do a bid waiver, so the manager can hire consultants to develop and implement that plan. And it's also asking to authorize an amount not to exceed of $250,000 to go towards that project.
Sorry. That's the end of your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, the item now is open for public hearing. On tab D.
Esther Blinn, 1990 Northeast 118th Road, North Miami, Florida, 33181. These tabs from the last several meetings I've attended have a thread of no bidding that is being waived, which precludes competitive bidding, which is at the heart of a selection. It's not that I don't have faith in the city manager to have the skills to make that selection, but that is not the way one should do things, especially in amounts that exceed, let's say, $25,000. This is $250,000 in a city still struggling to balance its budget, and you're not opening it up to small businesses that you are alleging you want to encourage, and community outreach. I mean, it's a conflict within itself, tab D. You're allotting and assigning the city to make a decision about who should do community outreach without having them having to go out into the community or present competitive bids. So I'm not in favor of that kind of undemocratic practice that we've never indulged in except apparently now.
Iliana Albarran, 849 Northeast 121st Street. I would agree, the need for competitive bidding. I would personally prefer the money to be earmarked for maintenance, repairs, and eventual rebuilding of City Hall instead of trying to build a campaign that's going to convince citizens that we need to rezone our public space to allow for private developers to make money. But if you do think that it is necessary to engage in this, at least language needs to be changed to allow for competitive bidding. Thank you.
Anyone else for public hearing? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Attorney. This is not the first time we have used this practice, because I know myself, I've always talked about the piggyback of contract. Isn't this the same type of, could you explain to us the legality of this?
Yes, Vice Mayor. No, this competitive bidding, we've done piggybacks. That's all different. There are times items come before you that we feel there shouldn't be competitive bidding. I think the last one you saw was last meeting. I think that was what was referenced to. That was the one
item.
on the IT item, because staff did their examination and determined that it would be difficult to procure those type of items. I assume that's what happened here also. So there's been a number of items that where we've looked at it and said it's probably better for us to waive competitive bidding. We bring it before the council, and the council has the ability and the power to do that.
Okay. But I'm saying we have done it in reference to when we do the piggyback on another contract that
Well, this-
something. No, I'm not saying this one in particular.
Well, this isn't a piggyback. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just waiving competitive bidding altogether.
So
The-
I think it's important that when we've done this in the case is when you're going to have unique services. So for instance, when you're talking about the P3, there's very unique messaging. And so you want to be able to pick up from that understands that unique messaging. And also particularly, we're looking at something where we're outreaching in the different sectors of the community that each may need different messaging. And so like there's special language, those that focus on Creole language, those might focus on Hispanic community. So it's very unique. And so in that case, that's where we look for that. And if you will, we also kind of did that when we were looking for census, because we wanted to get the most outreach that we could when it came to that as well.
Thank you.
And if I
Councilwoman.
may, I know the public had issues with the firm that was selected for the comprehensive plan. They also did the outreach, and I know public complained. I think the reason why we've asked for this item to be done this way is because we want to ensure that this information gets out. So this won't be another bond campaign. This won't be another, especially since it used to be my department that oversee community outreach. So I think this is a direction that we need to move forward in to ensure that we get the right message to the right people at the right time. Oftentimes we hear in complaints that people aren't getting the message, they don't know where to go, the website is not updated. We need to have a standalone go-to place where people can get information as it relates to this project. So with that, that's all I have, Vice Mayor.
Anything?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Do we have a consultant in mind? There's nobody named in this item, so do you have somebody in mind?
So it would be different groups. So we have one that's been starting out the messaging, but in terms of getting that message across and doing the outreach, we're going to be looking for specific businesses that are familiar with doing it in those languages and going into those areas.
So this $250,000 isn't just for one
No,
organization?
no,
it's
it would
to
not be.
Divided
Yeah,
up?
it would be divided
Do
up.
you know right now how it's going to be divided, or is that still yet?
That's still yet to be determined. There was, we do have an initial contract, but that was under the 25,000 for the messaging because we needed to start that right away. But everything else is open as we're looking at where the needs are.
And is there an overall time frame for the public education plan?
So it's throughout the process. I think the heavy's going to be now as the RFP is released, and specifically so that people can understand what we're looking for and what the project, what the plan is. So the heavy lifting will be in these coming months, probably through to the beginning of 2023. But this project is still going to span through about June, July, but I would say that the heavy lifting and getting the messaging across is in these first 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so I want to get clear. You said 3 to 6 months, but then you also, said beginning of 2023. By beginning of 2023, you don't mean literally January 1st, January 2nd.
No, it's starting now and going through that time frame.
But only, January 1st is 6 weeks away. So to me, there's a difference between the heavy lifting over 6 weeks of the holidays or heavy lifting continuing on.
No,
into-
it would continue on to January, through January and to February as far as the first 3 months.
Okay. And when do you, maybe you don't know this yet, when do you plan to release detail on the plans for educating the public to make sure that, we're not having town hall meetings that conflict with other homeowner groups or something like that?
So we're going to, the first group is working with us to kind of set up a calendar to have the meetings. And we did send kind of like a preliminary memo of what we would plan to do in that and the messaging to the council. And then we will have a calendar set for everyone, but that's why we want to bring them on so that they can set up the calendar and we kind of know when we'll have town halls, when things will be put out.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. That's all I had.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman? Yeah. Do I hear a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy to approve the item at tab D. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Item tab E.
Tab E. A proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the sale of the city-owned property located between Northeast 138th Street and Northeast 139th Street, and between Northeast 11th Avenue and West Dixie Highway, specifically identified with folio number 06-2219-007-2120 to Zenith 79 LLC, parentheses, buyer, for the sale price of $450,000. Further, authorizing the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate and execute a purchase and sale agreement with Zenith 79 LLC, providing an effective date and all other purposes. Tab E.
Thank you, Madam Manager.
So tab E, the city received a letter of intent, to purchase this property. It is located in District 3. This is by the tenant of the property. So we have an existing lease. They were going to work on a business plan and lease there. My understanding is that they have changed their business model. They'd like to purchase the property. So we moved forward with 2 appraisals. This would be within, in accordance with our ordinance, the price that's being offered. Obviously, we would be asking for an opportunity to negotiate and or execute depending on the direction of the board. But because this business has already started to do business with us and had executed a lease, the original idea for them was to do that with a possible future option to purchase, and they have sent us a letter of intent to do so.
Okay, thank you. Now, public hearing is open on tab E. Be careful, Ms. Blaney.
Esther Blinn, 1990 Northeast 118 Road, North Miami, Florida 33181. I was a little bit surprised, unpleasantly surprised, to see this on the agenda when Mayor Bien-Aimé, for the other presentations, insisted that no city-owned land would be up for purchase and sale. Having said that, I'd like to, first of all, correct tab E, because Zenith 79 LLC does not exist. The Zenith, THE Zenith 79 LLC does exist, and there is a sole managing member with a spotty history at best, beginning in 2016. I do not know who vetted this individual. Not only is he the sole managing member of the LLC, he's also the sole registered agent. And the office is very interesting. It's located at 12555 Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 9 something, which consists of a 2-inch by 3-inch postal box. That is their business address. The gentleman, Pierre John, has at best a spotty history with other LLCs that have been dissolved and reinstated, as has this one several times over the last 6 years. What does the Zenith 79 LLC, what does its corporate papers suggest? Any lawful business. There's no indication
Thank you, Ms.
that
Blaney.
they have any
Going 30
experience
seconds.
in developing land, and it's a disgrace.
Thank you. Anyone else? So, go ahead.
I own the Zenith 79 LLC. Ms.
Name and
Black,
address, please.
Castro P. Lewis, 13820 West Dixie Highway. Okay? I didn't see nobody complaining when the place was a cesspool. You understand? I didn't see nobody complaining when people used to go have sex in that parking lot. Before I purchased the car wash and I cleaned the place up, I put 16 cameras, and you could look, the police cars have gone down, and you're talking about spotty history. Listen, guess what? Everybody got a past. And guess what? I'm not ashamed of my past. I don't run from my past. But at the same time, we're talking about the future. And ever since I've been there, only thing I've been doing is correcting the place, fixing the place up, and I need an opportunity. And that's all I'm asking for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Builders. Anyone else? Public hearing is now closed. Council member?
Did we, I just have a question. This was
Yes.
they originally had the lease of the property. Did we ever execute that lease where they're in good standing with the current lease?
We executed the lease, but in accordance with their original LOI, they were supposed to start the car wash, and then they would start their payments.
And so Mr. Pialu's intent is to expand the existing business. I understand that you are a North Miami resident, someone who is from this community, who has invested in this community. And like you said, we all have skeletons in our closet here, but what you're doing in the community is commendable, and I applaud you.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion for this item?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy to approve the item at tab E. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Desormeaux. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Tab F.
Tab F, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue an amendment to the existing purchase order payable to Lois North America of Alabama, LLC, for an additional amount not to exceed $115,000 annually for the purchase, delivery, and discharge of quicklime for the Winston Water Treatment Plant, utilizing the cooperative purchasing provision pursuant to Section 7-169 of the City Code, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab F.
Thank you, Mr. Estrada. Madam Manager, can he proceed?
This is a purchase in the ordinary course of business for
Yeah.
quicklime.
Yeah, we've done this plenty of time. I don't know if we need a presentation for this. Public hearing is now open on tab F. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval?
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab F. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Thank you.
Next item, tab G.
Tab G, a proposed first reading ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Volume 1 Goals, Objectives, and Policies of the City of North Miami 2036 Comprehensive Plan, specifically changing the future land use map designation from community facility to central business commercial for the subject property, consisting of 2 parcels of real property totaling approximately 6.4 acres in size, located at 776 Northeast 125th Street, identified with Miami-Dade folio number 06-2230-019-0010, and an adjacent parking lot located on the east side of Northeast 8th Avenue, identified by Miami-Dade folio number 06-22300-039-0040, in accordance with Section 163.3187 Florida Statute, parentheses 21, and Article 3, entitled Development Review, Division 3, Section 3-302, Sections 3-1104 through 3-1107, Section 3-1109, and Section 3-1110 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations. Tab G.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Derek Cook, the Director for Planning, Zoning, and Community Planning, through the Honorable City Manager. The item before you is a future land use amendment. It was associated with the effort to create a vibrant downtown area to incorporate a place of active activity around the MOCA, and have a new city hall and a new police station expansion area. On June the 28th of 2022, Mayor and Council authorized the issuance of one or more requests for proposals for the development of the city's downtown civic plaza as a P3 qualifying project. With that in mind, the initiative is to undertake a revitalization of the downtown area through a series of infrastructure projects, including the design and construction of a new city hall and police station, expansion of the existing Museum of Contemporary Art, MOCA, a mixed-use opportunities such as ground-level retail, workforce housing, hotel, and all supporting infrastructure through a public-private partnership known as P3. To provide for the maximum flexibility and activation of the subject properties, it is necessary to change the current land use designation from community facility to residential, to central business commercial, which allows for a wide variety of uses, including mixed use, residential, retail, community facilities, and a maximum height of 150 feet. So, as stated, this request is for a future land use amendment. The Downtown Revitalization P3 Development Project. The subject project encompasses 2 lots totaling approximately 6.4 acres. The parcel is located at 776 Northeast 125th Street, and the second parcel is located at the east of us is the open parking lot on Northeast 8th Avenue. As stated, the current land use is community facility, which maximum height of 55 feet and is limited to public uses. The request land use is for central business commercial with a height of 150 feet. On September the 1st, City Council deferred this item for public relation plan, which was just discussed in item D, that
Yeah,
they did an initiative.
With that being said, I would like to, and I just spoke to the manager, if we could defer it again because we haven't had the enroll of the public hearing. So I don't think, I don't think we're ready tonight to vote for it. I mean, I'm not definitely, that was the issue that we had the last time. So I did talk to the manager, so we'll defer this item. I think it's G.
It'll be item G, and companion items are L and M.
Okay, L and M. Thank you, Mr. Cook.
Okay.
Do I make, make a motion to defer these items, G, L, and M? Are we moving it to the next meeting or?
Or maybe until
or
such-
maybe in January? When do you think the
just gonna-
outreach gonna be?
I'm gonna defer it and
Okay.
and then we'll talk with everyone in terms of the
Got it.
time frame.
Is that okay, Mr. Attorney? Can we just defer without a date?
Yes, because it's the manager's,
Okay.
she's the sponsor of the item, or she's
She's sponsoring,
sponsoring
okay.
the item and she's pulling it herself.
Got it. Thank you so much, Mr. Cook. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Tab K.
Tab H. A proposed
And-
set,
Tab K.
H.
H.
There's no K. Yeah. Also, with these 2 items, just in the sake of time, item H and, what is it, H and I, are those the companion items?
Yes.
I would ask that if we could move that to a, yes?
They are companion items.
Yeah, oh, okay. If we could move that to a special meeting, this, on what day is this? This is so many meetings happening on Wednesday. Mr. Attorney, can we move that to a special meeting on Monday, on Wednesday?
Is there a reason why?
No,
Yeah. Mhm.
I'd
I
be
think-
comfortable to moving it to December 13th.
Oh, December. Anyone?
I'm interested to hear more, but I'm not a fan about a Thanksgiving Eve
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay. So my original, the first time was December 13, and everybody had
Right.
voted against it. So that's why I'm
get an
putting it
amendment.
closer. So
But the
You- you
sponsor
know-
of the item, I guess, is not here. It was.
so it's either it died or we move it. So I was proposed to move it. So whatever
if
date
it's-
I'm okay with,
Well, if it's, why can't we just take it up tonight?
because I'm asking if we could move it down because
And I'll second that.
Oh.
yes.
That-
Okay. Madam Clerk, do we need a
Yeah, we
date?
do.
So which date are you comfortable with, Councilman Galvin?
Well, I'm sort
December
of with the
13.
councilwoman. I was ready to vote
Yeah, me
tonight,
too.
but, I can sort of count to,
Okay.
I can't count to something, so I can see 2 to 2 is gonna mean that.
Yeah, it's dropped, exactly.
That,
So which date are you comfortable with, the 13th?
I'd like to make a motion to table this until December 13th.
Okay, I was doing it sooner. Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll wait for Councilman.
I have a motion made by
There's no
Council.
second, we just discussing the item. With the date. There is a proposed date.
I don't see the difference in what it's gonna do, it's still gonna be the 4 of us, so.
Exactly. So that's why I'm proposing,
But why can't we just
Wednesday.
take it up now? Like, I think
I
we're.
just, Councilwoman, it's so much happening tonight. I just asked if we could move those 2 items. We got a presentation coming up until Wednesday, but we don't want to do Thanksgiving Eve. Then we could do the 13th. The next meeting is fine. That was my original date before. I'm okay with that. If we're going back to that date, that's fine also.
So I guess here's where I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we vote on it tonight, Wednesday night, or December the 13th.
There's a big difference, Councilman Galvin.
I'm trying to process it in my mind. What is the difference between now and December 13th?
He's illegal. Do we take them? Are you asking me or are you asking the attorney?
Anybody who,
Who wants to
I guess
answer
the
it?
attorney, he's sort of
That-
thinking maybe you have an answer or something?
Okay, so the difference between voting on this tonight or voting on this after tonight is, if you recall, when we had this first discussion, there's a timing issue. So right now, if this item does not go through tonight, that means the mayor will have served half his term plus a day, which means there would be an appointment for the office of mayor sometime after tomorrow. If this passes tonight, this would have extended the mayor's term, which means he would not have served half a term plus a day, which means you would have, I hope I'm saying this right, which means you would have
A special election.
Special election.
in
yeah.
60 days.
60
Yeah,
days.
60 days.
Wait, no, it's backwards. I just did it backwards.
That's-
I did it backwards. If it doesn't pass tonight, you will have a special election. If this passes tonight, then there will be an appointment. I did it backwards.
I'm sorry,
Which
can you
one? What's your thing? I think you did it. Is
Yeah.
Jennifer? Yeah, let's.
So it's if this item doesn't pass tonight,
Mhm.
the mayor will have served half his term plus a day, which means there would be an appointment.
The remaining members of the council would have to appoint.
If it,
Yeah, so he's done
Next
over
question.
half.
Yeah.
And if it does, so if it does pass,
A special
then
election.
then his term will have extended beyond
Yes.
the
what?
the halfway point plus a day.
if it, yeah, if moving it,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
is that correct?
Yeah. Then it goes to special
I
election.
don't think anybody watching
Yeah,
understands what
understands.
just happened. So let me ask the
Jennifer.
question. Let me ask questions. If this ordinance passed tonight, what happens?
Yes, that's a simple question.
If you
Special
pass
election.
this ordinance tonight, you will have extended.
No. What happens with the special election?
No,
No.
meaning, no, I'm asking the question. If this ordinance passed tonight, how does it affect mayor and council?
If this ordinance passes tonight, you will have extended the mayor's term,
In all of our terms.
right, and everyone else's terms. But in particular, the difference is the mayor's term, because what that does is the mayor will not have served half his term plus a day, right?
Got it.
And a special election would need to be called in 60 days to fulfill the mayor's
Right.
seat. And if this item
Wait,
fails.
So
tonight-
I'm still
Yeah,
asking
this
question.
will- no,
I'm still asking question.
Yes, Madam Councilwoman. Yes, Council
There's a
member.
motion on the
This is-
floor.
Hold on.
Who made the motion?
She did.
You
It had
did.
no second.
Right.
No, she
No.
didn't. She's asking questions.
I'm asking questions.
Mhm.
Are you, Jeff, do you want Jeff or do you want?
Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
Pull out your memo.
It's a lot of moving parts. Hold on a second.
Pull out the memo.
Yep. No, we don't. Councilwoman.
I am suggesting to my colleagues that
we'll wait
we
for-
table this item until the 13th. We get clarity privately in our briefings, and we come back again at this. It's obvious. We
Yeah.
need to do that. So I'd like to make a motion to table this item until our next meeting, which is December 13th.
1 second.
I'll second that motion. Yeah, after. But they can't speak again on second.
Go ahead, Councilman. Yes, Madam Clerk, go ahead.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to table item G, no, I'm sorry.
H and I,
Is it
actually.
H and I?
Item H and I to the next council meeting, December 13, 2023. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance.
Oh, it's
sorry,
not.
yes.
Oh, my bad.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
No.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desume, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with 3-1 vote.
See you guys on the 13th.
Tab J.
Or Thanksgiving Eve, you never know. I'm just joking, just joking.
Are we moving any item? Councilwoman?
What about J? Tab J? You have J and K?
It's quasi. Yes. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Quasi-judicial item. Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to speak in favor of, object to, or comment on an item, please complete a public speaker's card indicating the agenda item number on which you would like to comment. You must be sworn before addressing the City Council, and you may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse to submit to cross-examination, the City Council will not consider your comments in its final deliberation. Please also disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with any members of the City Council. City Council members must do the same. If you are giving testimony today on tab J, K, L, N, M, no, I'm sorry. Tab J and K, please rise and raise your right hand as I issue the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do. Thank you. You may be seated.
Is there a presentation for tab J?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Through the Honorable City Manager, give me a moment, please, for our presentation.
I just had a thought. I'll ask you later.
Tab J, a proposed quasi-judicial resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, terminating the previously approved development agreement issued under Resolution 2019-R-012 and approving an application for a conditional use permit in substantially the attached form for a mixed-use development consisting of a 10-story, 383-unit apartment building with 490 parking spaces and 14,291 square feet of ground-level retail and restaurant space on a parcel of real property located at 1850 Northeast 123rd Street, identified with Miami-Dade folio number 06-2228-001-0270 and totaling approximately 4.13 acres in accordance with Article 3, Division 4, Section 3-402 through 3-407, Article 4, Division 2, Sections 4-202, Section 4-203, parenthesis A, and Section 4-205 and Article 4, Division 3, Section 4-310 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. This item was continued from the November 18th special council meeting. Tab J.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Are you ready for your presentation?
Almost, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Go ahead, take your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. We're ready. Thank you for your patience, Mayor and Council and citizens, as we got prepared for the presentation to be presented. As was stated by the Deputy City Clerk, the item before you is a conditional use permit for La Maison. This project was previously called Causeway Village. As part of Causeway, the owner is the subject property is seeking a conditional use application with the Community Planning and Development Department and to request the approval of an additional 86 dwelling units, residential dwelling units, to the previously approved 297 dwelling units to construct a 110-foot, 383-unit luxury apartment building with integrated structural parking garage containing 380 parking spaces and a recreational area on the 3rd level with a pool, clubhouse, business center, game room, and other amenities. A ground level dog park and 111 surface parking spaces, public art, and 15,272 square feet of ground floor retail use. As was stated, this application also includes the disbanding of a development agreement under Section 34 of our land development regulations and, city code. And part of the Section 34 of the actual agreement that was a part of the original application. This request is a mutual request from the applicant, and it's with their consent. The applicant has expressed their consent to terminate the development agreement, update their development plan to include the conditional use permit with additional residential units, and update the development plan for the project. The project is going to be located at 1850 Northeast 123rd Street. The site is one parcel and is currently vacant. It is zoned C2BE and with an overlay of the planned corridor development overlay Biscayne Boulevard. The C2BE allows for height up to 55 feet and a wide variety of commercial uses, but no residential. With the PCD, the planned corridor overlay development area, it allows for a height up to 110 feet, and it allows for 125 dwelling units per acre through the conditional use permit process. On January the 22nd in 2019, Mayor and Council approved this development agreement for the 297 units that was recently referred to, with commercial area of 15,481 square feet. The Planning Commission recommended approval, subject to the applicant conducting a public workshop before the City Council review, which they did. The current proposal has been stated is for 383 units and a mixed-use development 10 stories high residential luxury apartment with 15,272 square feet of commercial space. It's also going to include, as stated, an integrated parking garage of 2 levels with 380 parking spaces and 111 surface parking. The site will have enhanced stormwater retention, which means containing all of the water on site. It'd be a certified green building as constructed. It would have 100% native Florida vegetation, and it would include public art. Now, some of the economic benefits that they are anticipating for this, it would have 504 short-term jobs created directly and indirectly associated with this development over the 2-year construction, introducing 37.3 million in wages. It also anticipates 136 full-time jobs post-construction with 7.9 million in direct and indirect expenditures. The ad valorem taxes for the property is anticipated at 3.55 million. The impact and development fees approximately at 5.85 million. The conditional use permit also will require review by the Development Review Committee and City Council site plan review approval. The construction would also include a 10-foot sidewalk along Northeast 123rd Street and a 6-foot wide sidewalk along Northeast 18th Avenue and Northeast 121st Street frontages. All utilities must be installed on the ground, and this transportation improvements would include a $25,000 per year for 4 years, updating the crash data, and include a segment of Northeast 123rd Street adjacent to the site prior to the Development Review Committee approval. Approval of pedestrian and bicycle connection of the public transit with the public transit, and coordination with FDOT for any required improvements, including preparing a traffic management plan if necessary. The next steps for this item would be going to the Development Review Committee for review, and after the Development Review Committee, back to City Council for site plan approval. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that all, Mr. Cook?
That is for me. The applicant may have a presentation.
Yes. Mr. Timer, you guys haven't, please proceed.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Carla Jones, attorney for Causeway Village, now known as La Maison. I have Ms. Laura Tauber here, the representative for the developer, and I also have Mr. George Rosello as the representative for the architect, Bear and Font. I'm going to just have Mr. Rosello go through the project a little bit, and if we're here for any questions, and we also reserve time for any rebuttal.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Councilwoman, Councilman. This project, La Maison, 383 units, apartment units, and we have 15,000 square feet, more or less, of retail and restaurant use. The restaurant use and the retail are being served by a parking lot, which is directly in front, which holds about 100 parking spaces. Towards the rear of the property is the lobby to the apartments, and that's being accessed from 123rd and in down 18th Avenue. And the segregation of the parking for the units is internal. So on the second floor, we have can we see that up there? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So off of 123rd, we have the parking for the
Same
retail.
thing happened last
As
time.
we come down our side street, we can access the lobby for the residential, which also has a spine which will connect internally.
Yes, please talk in the mic, yes.
Okay.
Into the
Which
mic.
also connects internally from the retail to the residential. So the residential parking is accessed on 18th. It can also be accessed through 21st. So that's internal. Second floor is also all parking, and that's 100% screened. That's 100% screened. Just tab up, tab down. Okay. So that's 100% screened, so we don't have any light pollution, and we won't be able to see any cars from the outside. On the third floor, is where our first layer of units are, and we have a 1 acre pool plaza with all our amenities. Next floor up starts our typical floors, which is 4 through 10. And they all look towards the courtyard. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the outside of the building, where the massing of the building is actually broken into where from 123rd, you're actually seeing 2 towers with a 30-story pedestal. So the bulk of the building is moving backwards, so it's not imposing onto the street. Also, the architecture is four-sided, meaning that the building, rather than just being articulated in the front, it's actually being articulated completely around to the same level of architecture. So it's just not something frontal that we see, and that's where all the embellishments are, but rather all the streets carry the same level of embellishment. So and that's basically the project. So we have 15,000 square feet of retail, which is served off of 123rd. We have a deceleration lane going towards the east, and we have access from 18th, also access from 21st. So if there's any questions.
Thank you. Any public hearings open on the, any rebuttal? This is a quasi judicial. Any cards? Madam Clerk? We good?
No, we don't have,
Okay.
we did not receive any cards.
Okay.
This is public hearing.
Yeah. You want to sign something? I saw Dr. West coming.
Say something?
No. Go ahead, Dr. West. Is there a card?
Do they
You
have to
wanna-
be sworn in?
No, she stand up. I
Yeah,
saw her.
she's sworn.
I saw her sworn in. Go ahead, Dr. West.
Okay. My question is, the first question.
Name and
Name and
address.
address, yes.
Gwendolyn West, 13090 Griffin Boulevard, 33161. My first question is, are we intending to make a skyline like downtown Miami? You know, from I guess it's been a few years that I came and we approved something for where the White House Inn is, and it's supposed to be, what, 10 stories or so? And, okay, so their building is going to be how many stories? 10 stories. And then I see something on the agenda that is going to be 20 stories. Are we in the mode to make this a different kind of skyline or a skyline for North Miami? Nobody knows? Okay. Another question. I was going to the Bell Harbor Mall. It wasn't yesterday, but it was the last time we had a lot of rain. And you could not get through 123rd going over to the Bell Harbor Mall. So that is another area that has a lot of flooding. So, I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, I don't have any problem with improvement, but we got a lot of flooding in this city, and, you know, would that include fixing that, or what?
Yes, Chief?
Kenneth Each, 13045 Emerald Drive, North Miami. I think this is a great project. For years, that used to be Monroe's Eater, a car dealership, and it was kind of dilapidated when I came here in 1970. Sat vacant for a lot of years, but this is a great addition to the city. You know, right now you look around the city, and I heard this mentioned before, what are we getting? We're getting dollar stores, we're getting self-storage warehouses, but we need something glamorous, something nice with people with disposable income. I look at the Talbot property across the street with where the gym is, LA Fitness. It's a beautiful property, they're well-maintained, and this will be a great addition to the city. I walk that area every day, and I think this is a great addition. I live over there on Emerald. I live about maybe 10 minutes from them, and I'm really in favor of this. I'm kind of excited about seeing it go, so thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Council members? I know this is your district, Councilwoman Timothy, go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I had an opportunity to meet with the applicant, and I know we met about twice, and you did host a community meeting so that the residents were aware of the changes to this project, so thank you for that. I did have two questions. The first one, on page 5 of the development agreement, there's a $25,000 per year for a 4-year period contribution to the traffic impact fee program established by policy in our comprehensive plan. With that, now that you guys are increasing, you know, I know by one height, are you guys looking to make additional contribution to that traffic program that's in the development agreement?
Councilwoman, if you would allow me to interrupt you, it's like you saw my question. If I can pick it back, I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to also disclose that I had ex parte communications with the developer and the lobbyist. I noticed that you are giving about $100,000 for transportation. I was wondering, just like the councilwoman is saying, because of the increase, would you consider it about $250,000 throughout the 4 years instead of $150,000? That's some of the community benefits that I would ask. And while she's talking about that, I just wanted to piggy on, and I have more questions, but go ahead, Councilwoman. I just want to say that.
Yes, I know it's $25,000 over a 4-year period, so
that's about
$100,000.
Right. So I was wondering.
Just wanted to know what you guys were in that area, since you guys are going up in height and traffic will be impacted. What changes are you guys making to the to the original agreement?
I'm happy to double the investment, and I'd like the guidance of council, please, to where the monies can be best used. So we'll contribute $200,000 over the same 4-year period. And again, I ask for your guidance where the city needs it most at that time. It was for the connector to help traffic, and if that's still most important in that area, great. I understand there's a park, an endeavor for a park, and we'd love to contribute to that. That's great for the city, great for the residents and the kids. So you have my commitment in dollars. Please guide me where it's best spent.
Okay.
Thank you. And it just so happened yesterday where we had, inches of rain, and that area in front of, your other property was pretty much flooded. So what are you guys doing in this project to, improve, flooding?
So interestingly, at Causeway Square, there was no flooding. We have on-site deep injection wells. We don't flood there. And we're using the same system. It's already in the plans that have been submitted for permit. Deep injection wells. There's not flooding right now on that site, and there won't be when we build it because of these wells. The flooding is a little more to the east of there. I was driving or swimming or floating through that as well. It's a problem. Some of the older shopping centers there, the code was different. The single story in Sans Souci on the south side of 123rd, they don't have those wells, and they need them. And they have to be maintained. So that's something I think that maybe on the individual properties where it's flooding and it runs off into the street and the ones in the street, probably again, as a developer, as a layperson, not part of the city, I would suggest maybe some civil engineers take a look at it and see why it's happening.
And with this project, you're only proposing to go up one floor because you already approved for the 99?
We're proposing to go to the allowable height under the code right now with less density that's allowed. Your code would allow us a maximum of 500 units. I'm asking for 383, so significantly less than allowed. And again, we are keeping all the water on site using these deep injection wells so it drains and doesn't flow onto the street or bother the people that are using the commercial portion of it or the residents that will live there.
Okay. Yeah, and I noticed that it's La Maison now, so it's no longer Causeway Village. So La Maison is the final name of the project.
Final answer.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, well, may I hear a motion for this?
Oh,
one?
I have questions.
I'm sorry.
Thank
I thought you did answer.
Again, thank you for your time, for your presentation in person and now I'm private and in person. Just going to ask you some questions like I told you that I would, that I've asked privately, publicly. Are there any affordable or workforce housing that you've put aside in your project?
There's not at this location. We would love to be part of it within the city of North Miami, and we'll continue to look for other sites.
Would you be open to probably putting some dollars, and we can discuss that during your site plan, putting some dollars aside towards our, for a rental assistance or housing program or first ownership
If that's a good use for part of the money I committed a few minutes ago, I'd love to.
No,
and-
that's transportation. I'm asking
Oh, I
if that
didn't
was
know
for
if that was
transportation.
all transportation or for some other use.
No, so the dollars that you doubled were for transportation that was mentioned in your.
Well, I said that I would double the money, and I'd ask the council to guide me where it's best spent.
Okay.
So if that's towards something for affordable housing, I think it's very important, and I'd love to. I was looking at another site in the city. It didn't happen, but I've been developing here for over 2 decades. I'm committed to this municipality, and I will continue to build.
So we can continue the conversations
Please.
before you go
I
here about
welcome
that,
it.
and you're open.
I welcome it.
Okay.
I want to
And-
do more.
And so you also mentioned about parks. I think I spoke to you in private. We have some parks that we're kind of short on funds, so I'm just asking people, hey, would you be able to put some dollars towards our park as well?
Well, yes, and that's
Okay.
what I was trying to say before. If that's where part of that money should go, we'd love it there.
Okay. And so I believe, when do you, if approved, when approved, how quickly would you commence and end the project?
We have the old plans, the original plans were submitted for building permit, and we've re-engineered it. If council sees fit to approve this, we'll submit the revisions for building permit. After this meeting, if approved, we would go to the DRC committee and then come back here for site plan approval. As soon as we have that and receive a building permit, we're ready to build. We're ready to break ground. We have all of the monies available.
And how long will it take you to complete your project once you've approved?
21 months from construction till the units are ready, and then we'll start delivering them. In an abundance of caution, I'd say 24 months, because the 90 days to ready the units for people to move in
So
sometimes is necessary.
Providing that you approve and you got your permit and DERM and all that, approximately 6 months after, are you going to start? First quarter, second quarter, when will you plan on starting?
As soon as we can get, I'm hoping at the end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter. That's our plan, and we've engaged an expediter for the permitting process.
Okay.
We just go through the formalities of approvals and guidance from the governing persons here in the municipality.
Sure, and those are all of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Councilman Galvin, any questions? Councilwoman Timothy? you done?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimé Irvin. Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimé Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desormeaux, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Council, thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Tab K. A proposed quasi-judicial resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the site plan for proposed mixed-use development consisting of a 20-story, 139-unit residential building, an attached 4-story parking garage with 235 parking spaces, and 90,989 square feet of ground level commercial and office space on 5 parcels of real property located at 12041 Northwest 7th Avenue, folio number 06-2125-018-0550, 12065 Northwest 7th Avenue, folio number 06-2125-018-0540, 660 Northwest 121st Street, folio number 06-2125-018-0590, 654 Northwest 124th Street, folio number 06-2125-018-0600, and a vacant parcel at southwest quadrant of the intersection of Northwest 121st Street and I-95, identified with folio number 06-2125-018-0610, totaling approximately 1.11 acres, in accordance with Article 2, Division 7, Section 2-701, and Article 3, Division 2, Section 3-204 through Section 3-206, and Article 3, Division 3, Section 3-302 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Item tabled from the November 18 Special Council meeting. Tab K.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Derek Cook with the Community Planning and Development Department through the Honorable City Manager. As stated, the item before you is a site plan approval for Emblem Tower. Property is located approximately at 1204 Northwest 7th Avenue, 12065 Northwest 7th Avenue, 660 Northwest 121st, 654 Northwest 121st Street, and a vacant parcel at the southwest quadrant of Northwest 121st and I-95. The site is approximately 1.1 acres. It sits in the C1 commercial designated zoning and with a FLUME, future land use map, designation of commercial office. The property also is located with the planned corridor development overlay district, which allows for 125 units per acre and has a maximum height of 200 feet. The conditional use approval occurred on May the 10th, 2002, under Resolution 2022-R61. The project details consist of the following. It's a 20-story building with 139 luxury multifamily rental mixed-use apartment with an attached 4-story garage with 235 parking spaces. It also will include commercial area of approximately 9,989 square feet of ground level commercial and office space with a valet-only parking for commercial and office uses. Attractive shades and active public-private pedestrian walkway on Northwest 7th Avenue and Northwest 121st Street with landscaping buffered, decorative pavers, and street furniture as part of the development. A street-level grand entrance on Northwest 7th Avenue with integrated public art is also anticipated at the site. Ingress and egress will occur on Northwest 121st Street. Enhanced stormwater retention, rooftop garden, and a green wall, and a bioswale and rain garden is a part of the development. And when we say enhance stormwater retention, as it was stated with the last project, that means their intent to have all stormwater to be maintained on their property with no overflow outside of their property. It also will include 100% Florida native landscaping and trees. The Development Review Committee approved this item on 10/20 of 2020, subject to certain conditions, including the following. The applicant will construct and maintain a 10-foot wide sidewalk along Northwest 7th Avenue frontage and a 6-foot wide sidewalk along Northwest 121st Street frontage. That the applicant shall unify the 5 properties prior to council approval. Well, at this point, prior to building permit final approval. The applicant shall complete the arts and public space and approval process, and prior to the certificate of occupancy, approval of public art must be installed or completed. The applicant shall integrate and maintain all sustainable building comments. All utilities must be underground, and obtain a certificate of use and business tax receipt. Apply for a building permit prior to or by May the 10th, 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Any presentation from the applicant? Can we get some help from IT? This is the second time we're trying to get this going.
Maybe IT should just pull up a
Yeah,
chair right there.
have somebody up there. He probably by himself since all these meetings.
Good evening, City Council members. Apologies for the delay. We have our presentation up now. My name is Steve Warnick from Warnick & Co., address 320 Miracle Mile, Coral Gables, Florida. Here on behalf of the applicant 7th Avenue Group, we're here for the Emblem Tower site plan. And also with me today, Marcus Frankel, the architect for the project from Frankel Benayoun, and Adele Lima from Buslam. You may recall we were here in May of 2022 for the approval of the conditional use permit. We've been spending the past 6 months working through your process with staff, very closely with staff, to make sure all of the code requirements and technical standards from the project as it was presented in May are being met. The important thing here is there's no changes happening to the project. This is still 139 multifamily units with the ground floor retail, the same number of parking spaces, the same public sphere improvements, the same art and public places commitment that's happening. The site plan, as Mr. Cook mentioned, has been recommended for approval by your DRC last month in October. And we're also not requesting any CRA participation in this project. This is a project that's going to be a catalyst for 7th Avenue and generate a significant amount of tax dollars for the city in the PCD overlay. I know you have a lot of items tonight. We do have a brief presentation if you'd like us to make it, and our architect is here, or we can be here for questions. I'll defer to you. Make a quick presentation?
Yes, brief.
Very brief. So this is the site, a quick aerial on the corner of Northwest 7th Avenue and 121st Street. As you can see, the existing conditions, this is an auto-oriented site. There's a transmission shop. There's a truck depot right next to I-95 that back in and out. That's quite loud certain times of the day. So this project would be not only adding housing to the city, but also cleaning up the sidewalks, expanding the space that's accessible to people in the area. So as I mentioned, the nature of this application, we've already been here and had your approval for the conditional use permit. The project required Development Review Committee approval, which happened in October, and now we're here before you for the formal site plan approval that will allow us to move into building permit and start construction. And our client is very interested in continuing to move forward into construction. They anticipate breaking ground, I think it's by the end of next year. So the project facts, again, 1.1 acres. It's in the C1 commercial district, but within this PCD overlay on Northwest 7th Avenue, which is, between I-95 and Northwest 7th Avenue. The development program, 139 multifamily units. It includes 27 studios, 64 one-bedroom units, 48 two-bedroom units, just over 9,000 square feet of commercial space wrapping the ground floor. There's parking on-site, enclosed, 235 spaces. It has a street-level grand entrance with public art installation, which is still, the art itself is still to be determined. 100% Florida native landscaping, certified green build construction. Also has the pool deck above the 4th story, which will also have amenities and a community facility space. We did hold a community meeting prior to the conditional use permit back at the end of April. That was pretty well attended, and we had support in front of you here in May for the conditional use approval. The design review criteria that you're asked to consider at this stage in the project talks about the development conforming to the city's comprehensive plan, consistent with the recommendations of the studies and master plans. The proposed development site plans, landscape plans, engineering plans, other plans conform or will conform with all applicable city codes. The development will efficiently use or not unduly burden water, sewer, solid waste disposal. We've heard a lot of comments tonight about sewer capacity, potable water. With this project, we're actually expanding the potable water capacity, and the sewer capacity, as it's been determined by Water and Sewer Department, is sufficient to accommodate this project. So that level of review has taken place to ensure that we're not going to be placing any additional burden onto the system for where this project is located. Again, public transportation facilities, we have a traffic study here. There is bus access on 7th Avenue. Also, what's important on this project, all of the ingress, egress to the site is happening on 121st Street, east of 7th Avenue. So there's no access vehicularly from 7th Avenue itself. And of course, the site dead ends at I-95. So that gives us a lot of room for turning movements and queuing, valet, et cetera. So that your staff has determined it meets all of these criteria. And so really we're here before you so that we can continue to move forward into building permit. With that, Marcus
Thank
Frankel,
you.
the architect, is here and can pull up any of the slides. that
Move
you might wanna
approval.
see.
Thank you. Second.
We
Oh,
didn't open
public
it to
hearing, I'm
the
sorry.
public.
Oh, I thought
No,
we
but
already
I
had.
don't,
Apologize.
no, but I don't think I saw anyone stand up with the quasi judicial. This
Public
is the
hearing.
quasi, right? Yeah, I don't think I saw anyone except them that stand up. Unless
I do
anybody
have
wants, that's fine.
I have
Chief
questions.
did, yeah, you already sworn in, Dr. West. You could come in and Mr. Each, yeah, you guys already sworn in.
I think this is a great project. I know what you're looking for over there on the west side. This is a great start to it. I love the project. I think everybody that I spoke to loves the project. I would go
Thank
for it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I like that shirt, Chief.
Yeah. And Dr. West, they working on this
13090 Griffin Boulevard. Can I just ask them a couple of questions?
No.
You can't ask questions?
I
You
don't
can
think
ask
legally.
questions.
No,
She
I don't
said
think
yes,
with
she
the
said
quasi. No, the attorney, just the attorney. I don't think you can.
No, this is
A quasi,
public,
yeah.
yeah, this is public comment, but they don't get to question the
Yes.
the applicant.
Okay, so 7th Avenue really needs something, okay? And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful project. the question that I wanted to ask that I cannot ask them was the rent. What's how much, you know, do you have in mind? What's the low and what's the high?
You could ask us and then we'll direct.
What's the low and what's the high of the rent that you're going to be charging for people to live there?
Thank you so much, Dr. West. Just to answer that question, that was one of my first. I've been meeting
Sir,
with.
I'm sorry. Are you closing
Yes.
public hearing?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Public hearing is closed. That was the only person that I saw. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. I have been working with the developers for the past. Oh my God! I thought this was done. I was ready for the ground. At least 2 years. And it's the back and forth. And they know I am so detailed in the way it looks, the glass, there was some stuff done. So the rent was one of the stuff that we asked from studios, I think from two bedroom or 3 bedroom, and kind of send them back with some renderings and stuff. So if you can on the record, I know this is,
Sure.
you're not seeking CRA money or any support from the city, but you are considerate in terms of, workforce.
Yes.
Go
So
ahead.
I can comment on the proposed rents that as of today, based on where the numbers are. And what we have seen in the last 6 months is rent has stabilized from where we were in May, where things were increasing. Now we're seeing rents calm down, although construction costs, interest rates have continued to change a little bit. But the projections are the studio would be approximately $1,900. 1 bedrooms would be approximately between $2,100 and $2,400, and the 2 bedrooms would be approximately $2,600 to $2,760.
And that's market rate?
This is a market rate project, yes.
So there is no set aside for workforce or affordable housing?
There is no set aside for workforce or affordable housing, unfortunately. I think with this project, again, the construction costs and interest rates have put more pressure onto the project. What we do have with this project is we have ground floor retail where there's still tenants are not been identified, and we're hopeful that that can be an opportunity for some local businesses to participate. I know that's a different issue than affordable housing, but it's also an area where this would be the first mover project. This would be the first building coming in, a residential building east of 7th Avenue in this area. And I think it often is difficult for that first project to, just to break ground really on a project like this. So in the future, I think other projects, as you're looking at the entire corridor, perhaps there can be some opportunity. I think with this project, it's, for example, going to a lender and showing them that there are no comps in this exact area can be a little bit more challenging. So I think there are some challenges that have made it where we've looked at this as a catalyst project that's going to inject dollars into the city, even though it may not be injecting any set-aside units for affordable housing.
Question. I'm sorry, council member. I just wanted. I know when we met, and my question specifically was on that. The numbers were way lower. What changes? Because I do have them written down. Is it the market? Because it was, I think, was 14, for anywhere from 1,300 to 15 from the studio, and then up. Even that I was kind of like, but I did understand where we were. What changes from? This was a couple months ago. What changes from that to the numbers that you just revealed tonight?
The numbers that I have from a few months ago were pretty similar to this. I think what has changed is the interest rates have increased since then, so the cost of financing the project has gone up to an extent.
So as the market goes up, the rent prices may change because it's depending on the market, correct?
That is true.
So a project like this that may take 3 to 5, let's say 3 years to build, in 3 years, if the market goes up again, the rates may change again?
Yes, although they could actually go down. I mean, if there's new supply coming on and the demand for units has tempered, there is a possibility that rents could also go down.
And you're not coming to the CRA for any additional TIF or?
No, we're not approaching the CRA.
So this is a completely market rate, whatever the market states, and as we see, it's been increasing over the years. Okay.
Paying for it. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I understand that, could you at least consider putting, just like the previous presenter, putting some dollars for transportation for us? Is that something that you could do as a community benefit?
So we had, our client was here on Friday when we were here. He wasn't able to be here tonight. We haven't had that conversation with him, so I'm not really today authorized to make any kind of
Oh, yeah,
commitment,
come
but we
back.
can
Do they
certainly
come
look.
back?
I mean, they certainly will. Blue Road is the developer of this project, and they have a project in North Miami Beach. They're based in Bay Harbor. They are local. They're not going anywhere. They're here. We certainly can look at other opportunities. Again, we are putting money through Art in Public Places, and so that money, we don't have an artist selected yet, so we could be
Right.
looking at a local
What is
resident.
the dollar amount that you're putting for art in public places?
I have to-
And are there any community benefits outside of the arts and public places that you're offering?
I don't know that number off the top of my head, but I can.
Sure, I'll
I
wait.
can look and see if it can come up.
Mr. Stephen,
Is,
are you done,
Mr.
Council
Cook?
member?
Mr. Cook?
Miss-
May I, to the manager, Mr. Cook?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask him.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Madam Council.
Regarding the rate or the community benefit?
It wasn't any, if you're speaking towards art and public places, there was no specific number identified for the art and public places. What we have in our code, if it is a public facility, then it's 1.5 of the construction, 1.5% of the construction costs for public entities, for art and public spaces. This is a benefit that they are offering through their thing. It's not a requirement.
Thank you.
Mr. Cook, I'm sorry, while you're there, do they have to come back to the council? That was a question, to us, once we done tonight?
No, sir, this is the
This is
final
the final.
opportunity, and they'll be going into building permit from here.
Okay, I got to ask Mr. Warner a question. You were at this meeting. I thought the numbers, and I don't mind. I'm still very supportive of the project, but I thought the numbers were a little bit down for studios. Do you guys have any studios, or are they all 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom? Yeah, because I didn't hear.
27 of the units are studios.
Yeah, and I didn't hear no $1,900 for a studio during my meeting, right? Because I'm like, no, it would have been. And
Again, I think we don't know yet what the final price of these units will be. It is possible that it would be less than that. The studios are 640 square feet. The one-bedroom units are between 710 and 830
Jesus.
square feet. Again, they could be less than 1,900. I don't think we will know that exact number for for some
Yeah.
time, right? But as we're working on going into permit, when we have those numbers, we can certainly continue to keep the city up to date. We can try and aim for keeping those studios as low as we can. That's about all I can add, I think. To
Unfortunately.
This is the site plan, correct?
This is the
Yeah,
site
this is
plan.
the
Oh,
site
this
plan.
is the last
This
thing.
is
Yeah.
it. I have a couple. Go ahead.
So did you get the pricing for the arts and public places?
Yeah, as Mr. Cook mentioned, there's not actually like a price associated with it. There's an approval process that we have to work with the city on. We have to identify the artist and
Right.
bring the art in and look at it administratively.
So no worries. Is there any way, but in terms of transportation for my first ask, is there any way that you can speak to or call to someone to see if this is your last opportunity here?
Understood.
So there's no
Yes.
other
I
negotiating
defer
or no
if-
other
Say
act?
December 13th 's a
If you
popular
want,
date.
to table this item briefly and give me just a few minutes to make a phone call, I can see if I can have some input on that.
Item that we have?
I'm just not in a position to.
This is not.
I'll make a
No.
motion, we continue this to December
No,
13th.
th-
No,
I
that's
would-
not what you want? All right.
Yeah, I think you want to make a call, Mr. Attorney. Can we just What's the next item? 'Cause
I think we're
we
done
have
after
so much
this.
in December 13, right? I don't have any problem with it, but it's just with the price. I do, because I do remember. But again, you guys not Xing any money from the city, so we can't control
Right.
that.
Maybe they do come back for a TIF.
Oh, that would be
recapture
so
grant, and then
good. Then we could, yeah.
It's in 7th Ave. I don't know why.
Yeah, why you not
why
Xing
you're
us for a
not going
tip?
to the CRA?
Well, I think it
At
one,
least
I
that way
think
we can
it's
stipulate.
it's a
Mhm.
whole separate approval process, right? Going through the CRA.
We could help if that would, then that will answer everybody's question. But no,
I think we've always been focused on not asking for it and doing a project that's putting tax revenue on the books and getting the units built. But I'm happy to try and make a call to Councilwoman Samantha Irving's
I have a
point.
question for you, and I think we could, that's something that we could work with internally. I don't think nobody's subject to your answer on what you do. But although we're not officially in a recession, but knock on wood, but what if we are in a couple months? What is the viability of whatever financing that you have to get this going? Because this is very important to us, because we do not want a project to start and then, we are in a recession, and then do you guys have enough capital?
So this is it's being financed through a private equity source, which is good in that sense that they have flexibility if there was a situation like they're not subject necessarily to all the bank.
Yes, and you're confident that we should be good to go.
They're 60. I think Marcus had told me earlier, about 60% done with the construction drawings.
Okay.
So they are ready to move into building permit and start
And
construction as soon as
my last question, and maybe Marcus, you could answer, because I know you've been at most of the meetings with myself. The completion date, I know you said, that's always been after the pricing. It's always been, when do we see something? Because residents always talk about, there's nothing on 7th, and it's been years in making. I know we sometime with permitting and DERMS and the building department, what's the date that we're looking to see something finish? Or
Thank you, Councilmember DeSome and all the council members. Thank you for your service and seeing us again. We're very proud of the project. The ground floor has 13,000 feet of improvements in the right-of-ways, in the sidewalks on both Northwest 121st as well as Northwest 7th Avenue, 13,000 feet. And we decided not to have only 10-foot walkways on 7th, but we have 25-foot combination of walkways and landscaping on 7th Avenue, and we have 23 feet of walkways and landscaping. You can see all that in your packet on sheet A101. Tremendous amount of hardscape and landscape, all for the purpose of creating interaction on the pedestrian walks, which is receptive, inviting, safe, friendly, but most importantly, interactive to foster communication on the pedestrian ways. And it's punctuated with that art and public place corner. If you can.
we got you.
Yeah, there's one particular rendering you've probably seen.
If
yeah,
you
right
could
there.
also put the rendering of the pool, the pool deck.
Yeah, I'll show you that too, yeah. But this corner, we'll go back. The corner, we're dedicating not just an art sculpture, which would be about 20 feet tall, but a fountain. So it's a fountain, an art fountain with an art sculpture within it. The budget for that would probably be in excess of $40,000 or $50,000. And that would be part of a contribution to the right-of-ways, to the large, broad landscape surfaces that you see on all the way on 121st Street going east and all the way on 7th Avenue going north. That's pretty much it. The ground floor has about 10,000, as you mentioned, feet, 8,500 of retail, 3 major components there shown on the site plan, and another 1,500 feet of offices. Then there, at the very east end on 121st Street is the only access for vehicles. You have a separate service access on the ground floor that's shown on the site plan, and then you have a separate access for private vehicles for residents and visitors to the complex. 235 parking spaces on 4 levels, starting on the 1st to the 4th. The plan of the 5th level is completely dedicated to amenities. First, you have the tower building. This is looking at the rooftop of the garage. But from the tower building, which has about 8,800 square feet of functions, it has multi-purpose rooms. It has a fully completely set up fitness gym and yoga studio and other functions indoors. Then you go outdoors, it's 23,500 feet of rooftop terrace, which 5,000 feet is landscape, and the rest of it is amenities, pools, spas, barbecue areas for eight different families located on the east end, and then a little walking and running track. And in the middle of that track is more outdoor recreation, Vita course, as well as a playground. So there's tremendous amount of functions happening on that 5th floor of the building. The rest of the floors start level 6 through 20. You have 9 units per floor, and they're varied in terms of the location of projected balconies and glazing systems that we talked about in our interview. And the balconies all have varied geometries and locations, and that's what gives the dynamics of the tower. Go back. The first. Yeah, there you go. Well, first and second rendering, yeah. You can see those balconies are all projecting out with glass balconies as was requested. And they vary in form and in placement all the way up, so it gives the building which is static rectangle going 20 stories high, makes it look very dynamic and very moving. And that was a deliberate design commitment to the project.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
And now, council members. Oh, so he'll call, work it out.
Right. I'm waiting for my side.
That's fine. No problem, sir. We'll, you could let us, council member, any questions? Councilman Galvin? Council member? Motion? Was there a motion?
There's a motion made by Councilman Galvin to continue the item until December 13.
I'll withdraw my motion to continue.
Do I hear a motion for approval? So move? Well, I make a motion to approve item.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Desormeaux to approve the item at. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desormeaux, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Thank you very much.
you.
Appreciate it.
And you, Marcus, you gonna talk to council? You'll talk. Okay.
Discussion regarding the Scott Galvin Community Center. This discussion was tabled from November 18th special council meeting.
So this discussion, we are asking for permission. There was an MOU that was presented to us by St. Thomas University. Mr. Tate, the owner, has donated the statue to St. Thomas University. There is an MOU pending the city approval in order for them to be able to remove the statue and replace it with some other gardening. They're going to put about $10,000 worth of gardening in that space, in that circle. And so because we brought this before and we had not gotten a definitive answer from the council in terms of that, we're asking for permission to go ahead and sign off on the MOU, which would allow the exchange.
Get that statue out of there. No, but yeah, obviously I support it.
Councilwoman, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm supportive. You know me, I'm always asking for more money for our city. Is there? So did they propose the 10,000? Can we go back and negotiate? Can we advise you to go and negotiate and get as much dollars as we can? $10,000 for what they're getting.
So if I might.
Sure.
First off, it's not our statute to negotiate over, but secondly, that was sort of what broached in conversations that I had, and St. Thomas said, well, why would we pay, tons of money to replace something that will cost us tons of money to take away. I mean, I don't recall any specific dollar amount, but I mean, it's not ours, so, and
So why we then, why we making?
so I can explain, at least as I understand it, I don't know if the manager wants to, or, so if somebody comes on to take away the statue, and the statue falls over and breaks somebody's leg, everybody involved wants themselves to be held harmless. Thomas doesn't want to be held responsible by the city, Tate doesn't blame it on him, et cetera, et cetera. It's sort of an insurance thing.
I think, when this was brought up during my briefing, we know the statue has a significant value. It's about $500,000, and we know that statue belongs to Mr. Tate, and it was also part of the, I guess a total appraised cost of the the Scott Galvin Center. And so if there's if it's Mr. Tate donating the building, I don't know how would that work. I forgot the question that I asked Jeff. It was kind of like, how could he reap, I guess, some tax benefits from donating the statue? One, if there's any way that he could maybe reap benefits, I'm not sure. Or two, or even if St. Thomas want to provide some tuition credits, for that $500,000, statue, maybe that's something that we can negotiate, for people.
I totally get you. It's not our statue. That's the problem. We
So we shouldn't be doing anything with it, or can we?
So
Is he here?
We are not the owner of the building or the statue. we are the tenant in the building. If Mr. Tate wanted to just give away that statue, he could. In my conversations with him, he said he didn't want to do that without the city's permission, because he knows we're a longtime tenant of it. And so before he does anything, he wants our permission, which is understandable, because what he doesn't want is he takes the statute and then, a year or two, another council says, hey, why did you take the statute away? And then he's got an issue. But at least as long as he has a resolution from this council or a vote from this council that said it was okay, then it protects him from future councils. I think that's the understanding. He could do it himself, but he says he wants
to ask, gets our permission.
the council to.
And I'm
opine.
okay with it. I don't want to make anyone seem that I'm not okay with it. I'm just always trying to get more for us. That's
Well,
all.
I
I'm
hear
okay.
you.
So
I
they're
just-
saying they're going to spend 10,000, and I'm saying, hey, can they just spend a little bit more? That's all that I'm saying.
I would love to turn the page from all of this and just allow the community center to do its thing. Arguing 10,000 versus 20,000 versus 50,000, and it's not ours.
Well, since this is just a discussion, are we okay to just give the manager direction to just, I guess, Mr. Tate do whatever he wants with his statue?
Well, there's a specific issue about executing the MOU because there are the risks involved, and so I do need that
That's what
permission
I'm
to sign
saying.
on that. So if
do,
you,
do we need a vote, or this
yes,
is
so I
discussion?
would getting
Okay.
a vote to sign off on the
So-
MOU.
Do you have a copy of the MOU, or do we have to see it before we vote on it?
I think it's like standard with respect to this exchange and also the risk.
So we're liable once it's transported over. We're not liable when it's there.
When it gets to theirs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that the whatever the liabilities
Who's going to pay for the? That's a good question, Council.
So they're
Oh,
actually,
okay.
St. Thomas is actually paying to move it, and then they're also giving 10,000 towards redoing the circle.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing, but somebody sitting next to you we were supposed to work something. But I make a motion to move that we give permission to the manager and the attorney to work with Mr. Tate to give the statue over and officially have the Scott Galvin Community Center stand alone by itself.
No, Wildcat.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Desormeaux to give permission to the city manager and the city attorney to move over the statue to execute. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Thank you. In
The last
regards,
discussion, we don't have to hear, right?
Discussion.
Since he's not here.
yeah, well, that's,
Discussion regarding height increase for future building construction.
can we, since the sponsor of the motion, of the item is our mayor, can we table that? That is an important thing, but can we do that another day, Madam Manager?
Was it his
Or is it
presentation?
something that you have a
I don't have a presentation. My understanding that there was going to be a citizen that may be coming with the mayor.
It was
to
Bill
Oh.
give a
Revitel? Oh,
presentation.
okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Bill, okay, never mind. Okay, thank you. So this was just a discussion and now public hearing, citizen forum, I'm sorry. Citizen forum is open. We have 2 mics, citizen forum open, hearing none. Oh, they're coming.
Good afternoon or good evening. In the last meeting,
Name and
I'm
address.
sorry, yes. Eileen B. Cabot, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court. In the last meeting, Councilwoman Mary talked about my street, and Public Works came up here. Now, prior to annexation, annexation is when this issue has started, and I'd like to know what has changed between before annexation and afterwards. Now, the second issue in terms of the flooding, I'd like an investigation on that. The second issue that I have is that we are on septic tank, or we prior to annexation, and it's only recently with the recent development that they put sewage on the street. Well, since then, we've had 3 spills. The last spill happened last Thursday, in which tanker trucks had to be brought in to vacuum up sewage off our street. Now, this is not very fun for us. First, we get flooded out. I had 16 inches of water last night against the building of my house, and now we are being flooded with sewage. And we are on septic tank. It's not even ours. And then the city is now asking us to have even more development, and these infrastructure issues are not handled. I'd like to have something done, and I'd like to know what's going to be done. I want to know what happened with the sewage last Thursday and what's being done to stop it from happening again, because I'm sick and tired of these issues happening on 3rd Court after you guys annexed us. We didn't even ask for it. We had no choices, because if there's a small amount of community, a small amount of unit, you don't even get a choice.
Hi, good evening, and council, city administration. I have a long list. Let me start by saying my name is Pierre Franchard. Address is 855 Northwest 126th Street. I just want to wish all of you, including the Chief of Police and our best police, enjoy Thanksgiving. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you to all of you, and keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Good night.
Vice
Probably
Mayor,
him.
if I could, to
Can I,
the city manager.
Can you,
The
can
six-
you council member, can you hold on 1 second? I'll let you go first. Public hearing is now, seeing none, public hearing now closed. Yes, council member, please.
The $600,000 that we received from the state for the septic to sewer conversion, have we identified the septic tanks that we're going to convert? I know we have about 221 that are left on septic. Have we identified the ones that are, more, alarming and concerning, so that we can start addressing the situation?
For that set amount, Public Works is identifying some of the most impacted groups to do the switch over to the sewer.
Okay, can we have a report, maybe, I don't know, would that report be ready by December 13th?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, so we can have answer.
That was my question.
Okay.
Go ahead, council member. Are we going into council report?
Right. So, Madam Manager, you just heard, this is a resident of mine on 3rd Court. I also have similar complaints on Griffin Boulevard. Similar stories 15 years ago, nothing used to happen, something's happening. Can I have an idea of why? I've been told that there was a canal that closed perhaps in 2007. Can somebody give an update and find, we had in our briefing today, I made a request, I just want to say that publicly, to help find solutions to deal with these, but could you address that, please, Madam Manager?
I can add that to the report on December 13th. Would need to look at all of the individual issues. There's separate issues. Some have to do with county stations, some have to do with our own sewage, so I would want to clarify those and bring that to the board on December 13th.
So just to be clear, December 13th will have some type of history of what's going on and some type of...
For the complaints that we've heard, I know there were complaints at the last meeting on the Friday evening, and this current complaint, yes.
Thank you.
That's
So
including
that's December 13th meeting. Okay.
That's including Dr. West, because she's been
I
calling me
just
for
said-
5 years.
It's Dr.
was
West
on
and Miss Eileen, but I didn't get the last name. But
that.
those,
It's third
look
court,
into
but
those.
Miss Eileen mentioned something, and I don't, she said before we annex, the area didn't happen. I know that's a simple process. So what would have occurred? Because I don't think the annex added anything to the. We did. Go ahead. Okay, hold on, Dr. West. Go ahead, Madam Manager.
I would have to do the history, so
Please.
let me look
Part of
at
the
the
report?
history from
Okay.
the different from that, so we'll do that.
Awesome.
for
Thank you so
December
much. Council report, Council Member Galvin.
Thank you. I just want to say again to the city council, thank you for the honor of the community center. It's truly, obviously something I could never repay you for, so to speak. And the fact that my mom was here to see it happen, that's big to me. To staff who really busted their butts, from Arlette to the Parks Department. They really worked hard to put together a party, and that was, I kept
Yes,
saying, let's make it a
Rosa.
pep rally, like a high school pep rally. I wanted it to be fun so that when people came, it would be an enjoyable, memorable kind of experience. And then to the public who was able to be there in support of me and in support of the center, thank you. I am forever indebted to my city of North Miami. So thank you, guys.
Well, you deserve it. Council Member Timothy.
Thank you, and a party it was. Congratulations again.
Thank
Just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing you guys parade morning at 10 a.m. along 125th Street for our Thanksgiving Day parade. And also, I know he's not here, but I'll still say what I had to say to our mayor, Philippe Bien-Aimé, who as of 11:59 will no longer be our mayor. If you're watching, Mayor, thank you for your service. It was a joy working alongside of you for these past couple of years. I had funny stories, but since he's not here, I can't tell you everything. But Mayor has been one of the most interesting mayors to work with. When I was PIO, we would fight a lot, but he would listen through any time I made recommendations or told him to go this way. It was a fight, but he eventually listened, and that was one thing that I admired him the most, was that he listened, and he really did care about this community, and he still cares about this community. So to Mayor, I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors, and thank you for your service to the city of North Miami.
Yes. Council Member Irving. Estimate Irving.
Good evening, everyone. Just would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hope to see all of you this Thursday. Is it 10 o'clock? At 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. So before you go to your Thanksgiving dinner, come and spend the time with us. This is our 48th year. Is that correct?
Why is everybody looking at me? I haven't been here all 48 years.
We're the
we
only
missed COVID, so it's like 46 and 47.
I know, right? We're the only parade here in South Florida. So, if you can't come out, I guess you can watch us on television. But come out; it's a lot of fun, and it's one of the great family events that we have here in North Miami. And it's an event for, like I said, for everyone, for all the families. So please come out. Philip Bien-Aimé, to you and your family, thank you for your service and good luck.
Thank you so much. And before I go to administration, I do want to remind, I think we mentioned it during the announcement, the Fam Fest, All right, we ready to party? Fam Fest tickets are NOMI FAM, F-A-M, which stands for Food, Arts, and Music, which happening December 3rd at Pepper Park. Please go on and get your tickets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. With Timi, Afro B, and Vaglavi from Haiti, and many other to be enjoyed. To all my colleagues, I know they have talked about our wonderful mayor. I wanted to, we have a little token for him, and I did relate to him that I will definitely get this to him as well as this right here. We'll make sure his gavel that he receives, and I'm going to read the plaque. This is the City of North Miami presented to the Honorable Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé, City of North Miami, in recognition and appreciation for your years of ongoing service and commitment and dedication to our community. We thank you for your contribution to moving our city forward. And Mayor Bien-Aimé, I think I echo my colleague. It has been a joy, been in this partnership, I think, for 8 years. Scott, it seems like longer. And not only you have been a friend, it's been difficult, but hey, you have been dear in terms of the community, serving. Your passion about this community speak volume, and your leadership throughout COVID, I think, came out, and that's one of the things that we're gonna miss about you on Deus. But to you and your family, we love you, and definitely we are looking forward to seeing you at the parade. This is you, and I am now going to ask IT for a short presentation that I asked to put together on behalf of the mayor. Thank you.
You have done to you.
Thank you so much. Madam Manager, Attorney, any reports? Just go, Mr. Attorney.
I wasn't going to say anything, but after that, I have to say something.
Yeah.
My relationship with Mayor Bien-Aimé goes before I even came here at the city.
Yes.
Before I became city attorney, I was a lawyer working out in the community. I was a lobbyist. I came to many meetings. Mayor Bien-Aimé, this reminded me, Mayor Bien-Aimé was one of the people who talked to me when this vacancy existed, and he's one of the people who talked to me about coming here. So I don't know if to thank him or or blame him, but he is one of the reasons I'm here. This was one of my goals, was to become the city attorney of North Miami. I was a city attorney somewhere else, but I always wanted to be part of this community. Working. I am very grateful to him. I'm in person, but hopefully he's listening tonight. But I do thank you. My family thanks you for the opportunity that you gave me. So thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Madam Manager.
I just wanted to remind everyone about our Thanksgiving parade and to make sure that you all come out. And secondly, it's just been a joy, an honor, and a privilege to work with Mayor Philip Bien-Aimé. And like Jeff, I just have to wonder whether or not it's a blessing or so for him to make me move all the way from California to come to the great city of North Miami. But as I will miss him greatly.
To know him is to love. What they say, right? Great. Madam Clerk?
No report.
Anisha, any reports?
Go ahead, say.
We didn't go to
Motion to adjourn.
St. Thomas. wait, hold on. I think she has something to say, right?
I just wanted to say for the mayor's service and thank you for him being so accepting. I appreciate working with him.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Scott, oh, you take.
I'll second.
Thank you,
Motion by
guys. That was-
Councilwoman
Good night.
Timothy, seconded by Galvin. It is 9:28.